riffs are too repetitive, the lyrics make no sense. All the songs are B-sides and the cover art's a mess. There's so much here to tear apart. Listen to it for a week, now that week has passed. It's Why I Hate This Album podcast with Tim and Garrett.
Hello and welcome to another episode of Why I Hate This Album, the show where we pick an album or a song, listen to it for an entire week straight, and then come back here and tell you why, if at all, we hate it. I am one of your hosts, Garrett Harvey. With me, as always, Sideshow Mel to my Sideshow Bob, co-host extraordinaire, Timothy Richardson. Tim, everybody wants to know, how are you doing?
I'm doing great. Had a really good day today.
Fuck. Why?
Oh, well, Garrett, as you know, today, the day we are recording this, not the day people are listening to this, is Yogi's 4th birthday, and I have been spoiling him to the exclusion of Batman all day because Yogi is, and this is true, the best dog. Much better than Batman. Hashtag Yogi forever. Hashtag Batman never. Hashtag Dog Wars.
I hate it when you say that. It's his birthday, so I'm going to let him have the W, but tomorrow, vengeance will be mine as Batman is the cutest doggy ever.
Well, absolutely not. I will say the interns, I made them each buy him a present. One of them got one of those singing fish you hang on the wall. One of
Billy
them,
Bass?
Yeah, one of them got one of those like lamps that looks like a sexy lady's leg.
Down for that.
My point is they're idiots who don't seem to understand what is a dog.
Do you think maybe they thought that this was a ruse to get them to buy you presents, and so they bought for Tim and not Yogi?
That makes a lot
totally
of sense.
A thing you
and
do.
That actually explains why I've been having such a good day, because I've really been enjoying Yogi's presents.
Yeah, your new Billy Bass
and
lady leg lamp.
One of them got him a glow-in-the-dark football for our Central Park night walks, because I've been doing that a lot lately. Just trying to...
That's kind of for both of you.
Well, yeah. Well, the night walks, those are for me, Garrett.
Yogi's just an alibi.
That's right. Wait, what do you mean?
I guess an alibi's wrong. No, that's right. Cover.
There it is.
All right. Well, aside from evening activities in the park, lascivious.
Probably going to have to bleep at least some of that.
I wish I could do it in real time. Tim, what album have we been listening to for an entire week straight?
We have been listening to the self-titled Eve 6 album entitled Eve 6, released April 28th, 1998.
And Tim, 100 people were surveyed and 98 of them want to know, after an entire week with Eve 6's Eve 6, do you hate this album?
No, Garrett, not yet. Not yet. I do not like this album, though. I think this is mostly filler.
Okay.
Yeah, we'll get to it. What about you?
We'll break it down.
I assume you love this album, given that you have it on CD, vinyl, and tape.
Accurate. Do I love it? No. Do I hate it? Oh, mercy, no.
Closer to love than hate is what I'm hearing.
I think I'm really neutral.
Pretty hard on this album.
Okay.
For it.
Don't be
sorry.
Anyway, I really like a couple songs. I really dislike a couple songs. It's not hate, it's a lot of filler. You're right, and we're going to get into why and how and all that jazz, but it does mean that I think this is going to be a quick little ep.
Hopefully.
At least as far as albums go. Every time we've ever said that, we've set new records for length, so hopefully we break that this time. We'll see before we do. I am curious, prior to this week, Tim, last week you claimed hadn't really been exposed to Eve 6. Now that you've listened to it, I'm curious, did it jog any memories? What is your history with this band, album, songs? Speak.
I have heard 2 or 3 of the songs on this album. One of the songs on this album I have heard probably 300,987 times. I never owned this album. Weirdly, I have thought since 2003 that this band was from Atlanta, Georgia. Now, the reason I thought that is because when I was a freshman, I lived in a dormitory, and there was a girl on my floor that said this was her favorite band of all time, and part of the reason for that was that they were both from the ATL. Spoiler alert, Eve 6, not from the ATL. At all. Far from it, actually. Her favorite song, inexplicably, was the Open Road song. I am honestly just shy of hate this week based solely on her. This is almost a Dennis Leary situation for me.
Interesting.
Ugh.
That's weird.
Well, I mean, that's fair.
I like that you learned one fact about this band at 17 years old, and you were just like, I'm going to remember that forever.
Well, that's what happened when I was 17, Garrett. Everything that happened, I remember forever. Can't remember shit now.
No, I don't remember yesterday, but I can explicitly tell you what I did from the ages of 6 to 19.
Right. We've both had quite a bit of brain trauma since then. What about you, Garrett? Have you ever heard this album before? I know you own it. You ever listened to it?
That's actually a very good question. Unfortunately, the answer is yes. Now, I hadn't heard this whole album in, I don't know, a decade plus.
Have you listened to this thing the whole way through before this week? Like front to back, T to B?
I have. T to B. I've done it. I have done it. Probably 3 times.
Weird.
Maybe. Have I listened to like 4 of these songs 100 plus times? Yes. Have I listened to 2 of these songs 200 plus times? Yes. And you will be shocked to learn what song on this album I have heard the most.
I swear to God, if it's the Open Road song, I'm going to slap you. I will admit it will end poorly for me.
Yeah, well, we'll see what happens. Let's see what happens.
I'm scared.
We'll get there, Tim, but before we do, little other context. As Tim mentioned, I do have this on multiple different mediums, too many M's, but the CD itself, that's a Columbia House special. That was 20 CDs for a penny, my friend. I got this at 15 in October, and by February, I was jamming out to it in my car.
Interesting. Yeah, if you're getting CDs for 1/20th of a penny, goodbye.
You could do worse.
This is a goodbye.
Yeah, I definitely got my money's worth. Yeah, so I listen to this all the time in my car. Definitely just the hits, not going T to B, end to end, front to back to front. Never back to front.
Oh, God.
Yeah, that's my history. That's your history. Before we can talk about the album itself, and of course, what do these songs mean, we need to understand where it came from. So Tim, take us on a journey. Help us understand. Who is Eve 6? How did this band come to be?
Evelyn 6, sometimes shortened to simply Eve 6, was formed in 1995 in La Crescenta, California, by James Maxwell Stewart Collins on bass and lead vocals, John Siebels on guitar and backing vocals, and Nicholas Evelyn Myers on drums. Now, La Crescenta is, of course, the home of Rockhaven Sanitarium and also the Kimball Sanitarium, where Bela Lugosi, Francis Farmer, Margot Kidder, and Garrett's first crush, Billy Burke, were all imprisoned at various points in their variously insane lives. But we are not here to talk about mental illness, no matter how much Garrett would have us believe otherwise. We are here to talk about Eve 6. So Garrett...
Wait, the city's biggest export was sanitariums?
Their biggest import was insane Hollywood royalty.
How strange.
Max and John met as freshmen at Crescentia Valley High School, go Wildcats, alma mater of Billy Booth, TV's first Dennis the Menace, and Will Wheaton, guy whose excellent audiobook narrations inspired me to attempt to hire him to read my parts on this very podcast. But, Garrett, we're not here to talk about the golden age of television or handsome-voiced men, no matter how much Garrett would have us believe otherwise. We are here to talk about Eve 6. Max Collins grew up as the nephew...
Hold on. Wait a second. You must have never watched Star Trek The Next Generation.
I know exactly who Will Wheaton is, Garrett.
Oh, okay.
I'm talking about how I knew him.
Ugh. God. We can't stop. I would love to just stop everything and have an off-mics conversation with you. We can't but just bookmark it. Okay, Gino? Questions.
Max Collins
Will Wheaton
grew up as the nephew of actor Stephen Collins, beloved for his role as Eric Camden on the excellent television program Seventh Heaven and nothing else. But, Garrett... We are not here to talk about admitted, alleged sexual abuse of minors, no matter how much Garrett would have us believe otherwise. We are here to talk about Eve 6. Now, I didn't really bother to find out how these guys got into playing music, but the band began life as Yaku and then Eleventeen. While still in high school, Eleventeen got signed with RCA, didn't do any research into how that happened, and they recorded but did not release a self-titled EP, and then the drummer left, so they replaced him with an older boy, USC freshman Tony Fagenson. Tony.
Can't be one of those.
We'll call him Tony. Now, Tony and Max were huge X-Files fans because it was the mid-90s, and that was kind of all that was on television. Well, they could have been Simpsons fans, but they weren't. They were fans of The X-Files, and you are either one or the other. And one day, they watched Season 1, Episode 11, Eve, in which that lady that plays Frasier's agent on Frasier, also Arlington Heights alumnus, portrays Eve's 6, 7, and 8. They like the sound of Eve 6, so like Machine Gun Kelly, they just stole it wholesale.
What? I'm so lost. I'm so confused. There's so many references, and I don't know how much of this is true.
Our audience will pick up on it, and all of it is true, as always. Eve 6 released Eve 6, the album of the week, in 1998. I won't get into exactly how it did yet, but Inside Out did quite well on MTV's TRL. They released Horoscope. Get it? Horoscope?
Oh.
Yes.
Like horoscope.
No, like horror. Oh, yes. Oh, sorry. Yes, the two.
I was going to say, I think we might be saying the same thing.
It didn't do as well, but it did feature the hit single Here's to the Night, and it did sell more than 500,000 copies as of some date. In 2003, they released the album It's All in Your Head. Nobody bought that, and they were released from their contract with RCA. Now, Eve 6 then went on indefinite hiatus in 2004 due to exhaustion, with Max saying, there were parts which were fucking incredible and amazing and awesome, and there were aspects that were terrifying and freaky that you didn't know how to handle. I feel like we did some growing up in public. I needed to stop drinking, and in order to do that, the wheels had to come off. I didn't think I could have done it if the band was still going. Now, he's 25 when he said that, and all of that seems super mature and admirable. Good for him.
Yeah. Wow. That's super weird.
Yeah. He was briefly in a band called Brotherhood of Lost Dogs that apparently didn't affect his sobriety, and then he made a new band with Fagenson called The Sugi Tap. That never really got off the ground. They did write some songs for Puddle of Mud, though. Now, Puddle of Mud is, of course, a band whose album we discussed on this very show, but Garrett has no memory of it due to an unfortunate turn of the Collective Ether Rag.
The Collective Ether Rag? Is that like a communal one that we just keep around the house? Or
we've all contributed to the amount of ether in your rag.
I'll see you tomorrow.
Yes,
maybe.
We are also taking polls on it. The Sugar Tap went on indefinite hiatus after Eve 6 decided to become a band again in 2007. They did have to convince John to stop playing with his dumb band Monsters Are Waiting and come back, and they released Speaking Code in 2012. In 2020, the official Eve 6 Twitter account was hailed by the liberal media as the anti-trapped account. They apparently had funny tweets that weren't horrifying and trapped-ish, including a series of stories about, quote-unquote, the Third Eye Blind guy and, quote-unquote, the Sugar Ray guy, and just tweeting a bunch of random people to ask if they like the Heart in a Blender song, as he calls the song. So I probably like Max, even though I kind of hate to ever admit to liking anyone named Max.
True.
They're inherently sketchy, untrustworthy people.
Yeah, it's either your name and you've kind of grown into it and you're kind of sketchy, or you've chosen it yourself, which means that you've already decided to commit to a life of scumbaggery.
Absolutely. He then started writing an advice column called Heart in a Blender for the magazine Inverse, then on Garrett's personal favorite BuzzFeed, and then he started writing a book or something, also called Heart in a Blender. In 2022, Eve 6 released its fifth studio album, Hyperrelevization, and they joined Neil Young's Spotify, although their complaint was less about Josephus Rogan and more about them not getting much money from Spotify and other streaming things.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Yeah.
Apparently they're back with it now, though.
Yes. Anywho, Eve 6 then set up a Patreon account to release original songs, cover songs, and essays, and that is probably as good a time as any to tell you, do not support Eve 6 on Patreon. They have a platinum album. Support Why I Hate This Album on Patreon. We do not, and we have adopted 3 Cambodian orphans, and also a large cache of leased weapons. To be very clear, these two are completely unrelated.
Of course.
But yes.
We are leasing the weapons.
Right. And we have adopted Cambodians. But they are not.
Where?
The orphans are not for the weapons, and the weapons are not for the orphans. Also, Big Apple rent, super expensive.
Yeah, and most of what we do is really expensive. The hosting, the editing.
The weapons?
All of it. I don't know, in hindsight, I don't know if we should have talked about the Cambodians or the weapons.
Well, bleep, I don't know which word.
Also, I was unaware that you could adopt Cambodian people that
Well, you
were
can't
this old.
adopt them if they have parents. I mean, you can.
No, that was definitely not a problem. I'm just saying, like,
Oh
one of them,
my
I think, is like,
God.
I think one of them is like 23.
Oh, yeah. They're very old. Mature.
They all have beards.
Yes.
Why do we adopt them, Tim? That's what I'm asking.
We need someone to operate the weapons.
Anyway.
LaFace.
Anything else, Tim? LaFace. Fantastic. And a Coral Gables to you.
Oh, I like that quite a bit.
Such a weird way to salute the end of a segment. It's not something we do at any other segment, but that's okay. All right. Well, interesting. One thing I didn't mention in my personal history, I doubt it's any different in yours. My awareness of Eve 6 does not extend beyond this album.
Agreed.
Like, I didn't even hear any of the second album.
I think we possibly have heard Here's to the Night. If that comes on, you might have heard it on the radio. It seemed popular. I did not listen to it to find out if I had.
Fair enough. The mystery remains. That brings us to general thoughts. Where to begin? I guess with the type of music this is.
Yeah, so it's more pop punk than I thought it was going to be.
It's heavy on the pop.
It is. To me, this is the sort of platonic ideal of that 1998 Sam Goody album. There is one extremely catchy song that's a clear radio hit. There's a couple of others that you can definitely tap your toe to.
And then there's 6 other ones you just don't give a shit about.
Right. But those all have like weirdly dark lyrics, and contrarians are going to claim that those are the actual good songs, but in reality, they are not, and they never were.
Sure. Now, full disclosure. Often we are those contrarians.
Yes, not this week, though.
No. Well, we'll see.
No. Nope.
Anyway.
If you like Showerhead, Garrett, I'm going to try and ruin Showerhead for you.
That's not a song on this album.
It definitely is.
I don't think so.
Okay.
Don't make things up.
Okay.
Anyway, yeah, it's pop punk. It is pop.
Yeah, it's
perfectly fine.
It's the synthesis of that alternative rock college radio movement that was kind of mid to late 90s, like not post-grunge, but that happened simultaneously with post-grunge, the kind of Jimmy Eat World thing.
Yeah, like what would you call Third Eye Blind?
Yes, this to me it's very similar to your Third Eyes Blind or your Semisonics, etc. It incorporates the pop punk that Blink-182 was about to make really popular, but without the humor of that.
I would argue it's like the bridge from Green Day to Blink-182.
Maybe. I feel like that pushes it too far in the punk category.
That's true. That's not untrue. Although, I mean, undeniably, when I heard this, at least as a kid, I was just like, oh yeah, okay, kind of like Green Day. I got it.
Yeah, that's fair. It makes a lot of sense given the year that this came out, because musically it perfectly encapsulates to me like 1998. Like you can hear some Blur in here.
Mm-hmm.
It seems crassly commercial in hindsight, although they were probably shooting for college rock radio when this came out.
Yeah, but it would have been well suited in an Old Navy commercial, and had it come out a year later, it might have legally been required to be on the American Pie soundtrack.
Yes. And I don't know if they played the Vans Warped Tour, but they definitely played the Vans Warped Tour, right?
Bro, they might have reignited the Vans Warped Tour for Eve 6.
Yeah. And again,
but
weirdly, lyrically, it's odd because a lot of this is surprisingly pretentious and deliberately obtuse. The lyrics are written in such a way it's not really about anything, but the lyrics,
except for when it's specifically about something.
Sure,
and you're like, wow, this is awful specific.
Yeah, it's about how they hate women, or a very specific woman who is not named, but you could probably get her address by clues from this album. But the lyrics are constructed in such a way, like you can easily read into them things that aren't there, and we're going to be doing a fair amount of that. But it's the kind of music that thinks it's poetry, it thinks it's high art, but it's pop punk.
Yes. Well, it's poetry set to pop punk music.
Yeah, no. It
not
thinks
good poetry.
It thinks it's better than it is.
Well, now we need to discuss the age. The majority of this was written by a 17-year-old person.
Oh, sure.
And they released it by 2-3 years later. So they were still 19.
Yeah.
Which is, unfortunately, I'm going to have to say, some of this is pretty goddamn impressive for their age.
Absolutely. Yeah, I agree with that completely.
Even some of the lyrics, it's just like, wow, that's a turn of phrase that's pretentious as all get out.
Garrett could not pull off.
Absolutely. No, there's no longing. Well, no, there's a little longing, but there's most, you know what? actually, okay, well, I should also say, I guess I left this out of my personal history. Tim, I related to this album.
Oh, sure, you still do.
A little bit. Wait, no, I'm a grown man.
Yeah,
I've
but you
left
still
that boy
hate
behind.
that one girl so much.
I really do.
You will not forgive.
I won't. Do people
will not
really
forget.
forgive? I can't.
You've
Who's in
written
that
an
one?
album about her, Garrett.
It's my a
It's not
crow
a good
looked at me.
album.
Oh, that's rude. I thought it was pretty good.
It wasn't. It was sub Eve 6. It was 2000 horror scope Eve 6 level.
Was it the content, the music, or my vocals?
The vocals are great. You have an excellent singing voice. I don't know
That is
why
nice
you
to
did
hear.
all of it in that goddamn Japanese accent. It was so thick, but you carried a tune well.
Oh my gosh. You think it wouldn't make me laugh so much having done it. But here we are. Oh, heavens. Oh, that was very, very amusing to me. Okay, fair enough. So back to this album then. We've talked about what kind of music it is. His vocal styling is simultaneously a little irritating and also very impressive.
It is. I feel like in various parts they do the Green Day accent, the sort of fake British accent that you can only do if you were raised in the Bay Area somehow.
For some reason.
Yeah.
Yeah, they do a fair amount of that, but to me it sounds like somebody who knows how to sing and then they were like, now make it punky.
Yes.
Punkier.
I agree.
Okay. Vocally, we're set. Musically, we're set.
Cover art
What have we not
rocks.
said? Cover art's pretty good. Not much to it.
I feel
like it.
like Modest Mouse might have stolen this cover art 11 years later.
Are you sure it was Modest Mouse? Didn't Red Hot Chili Peppers do one like this with like a fly in a pill?
Yeah, no, you're right. I'm with you. In 2011, the Red Hot Chili Peppers, and then there's the No One's First and You're Next Modest Mouse EP. They both kind of have a similar cover.
I wonder if it's a reference to something we just don't get.
Flies. It's a metaphor.
I think the subtext is flies. Nope. Anyway, all right, well, there you go. It's in the theme song. Check it off the list. I think we've hit most of the angles before we can really just get into the songs themselves. Is there anything else we need to say?
Nope.
All right, well, let's do it. Track number 1, How Much Longer?
This starts off far more pop punk than I ever imagined this band or this album would be. It's from the guitars to the drums to the Green Day accent.
Oh yeah, this is a pop punk album for sure.
Yes, and this might be an incel anthem.
Oh boy, we're gonna have to really get into it. There's a few of these songs that are either so boring that I legitimately couldn't tell you what it's about, or they had such like complicated ways of saying simple things that I'm not sure I know what it's about. So
well, that's what I'm saying. The lyrics are very pretentious, overly complicated.
At 17, I tend to put that in the impressive category.
No, I mean, it's still, this is better than any 17-year-old should have done. We can say that off the bat. For a 17-year-old, it's impressive. It's still not good, though.
Fair. All right, well, let's get into the lyrics. They begin. Drag this neurotic to hysterics, leave him balked and unfulfilled, holding inside, outwardly patient, till the time he'll call it. What?
So he is a emotional, moody, weird teenager.
Okay.
He is unfulfilled because, he's a teenager.
We all are.
And he has needs. And he is pretending to be calm and collected and like he's got his shit together, but Garrett, he does not.
Interesting. Okay. I'm mostly there with you. It sounded a little to me like a woman that was trying to drive a man insane for her own amusement or gain.
Well, no, okay. It is that, but that's through his perspective, right? She's not actually trying to do that. She's just a nice girl from his class, and he's sitting there across from her, staring, Garrett, and he is staring, and he wants her. Oh, how he wants her, Garrett. And
I mean, that's very relatable. We've all been through that.
Yeah. He has made his poetry a lot less in her face by releasing it on the national stage than you did. Alluring, exotic, twisted hero, leaving him more lonely still. He waits around, he spun around, and left without the power to stop it. So, again, he's staring at this girl, Garrett.
He's got the blue balls.
Yes.
It's hard to tell, though. Is she interested and like she's only going so far, or do you think it's completely unrequited?
I don't know. At various points in this album, taking the whole thing into context, it seems like she is. Well, it seems like she is willing to pretend to be. But he's much more jaded than he has any right to be as a 17 or 19-year-old.
Okay, let me give you an alternate theory. Imagine a world, Tim, where there is a sexual superhero that makes her villains fall in love with her instantly. They have a one-night stand, and then she's just like emotionally withholding or just totally ghosts them until they lose all confidence and she can arrest them.
Now, how is she a superhero in this situation?
Okay, you got your Lex Luthor, right?
Mm-hmm.
And then she goes on one date. He's smitten, right?
Right. I'm just saying, what's the super part? I grant you that this woman sounds heroic.
Right. Well, the superhero part is that they instantly fall for her. Like, it's unstoppable.
Okay.
She can direct it at somebody.
Interesting.
Right. Which is, again, a very useful superpower, but it's not like the best one. Like, it comes at a cost.
No. The best one is being able to instantly carbonate someone's liquids.
Yes, it is. And I don't know where you got that. It's one of the most terrifying things you've ever said offhand. And I applaud it.
Yeah.
All right. Song continues. Peers don't know what they can't see. They can't see inside of me. It's sickening how comforting the privacy of the mind can be. Yeah.
This is as true as it is genuinely upsetting. He's
true.
People can't tell what I'm thinking, and if they could, they would be openly weeping or possibly vomiting.
Did you say what I've done or what I'm thinking?
What I'm thinking.
Okay, good.
Yeah, he's supremely comforted by the fact that no one can see what he's thinking, because if they could, they would definitely kill him with a brick.
Or at least advise that woman to stay 10 to 15 yards away at all times.
Yes, and carry a brick.
And, he could be on like a series of dates with her, or if you were anything like High School Garrett, a series of what were supposed to be dates and are somehow very clearly made into not dates.
Well, you bought such nice presents and then they showed up with a friend.
Things that actually happened.
See our extensive, by this point, back catalog for Garrett's failures.
I can only laugh about him now because, well, what else are you going to do? Anyway, or Tim, conversely, this could be our sexual superhero, and her peers don't know what they can't see. Like, all they see is her bringing the bad guy to justice, but they don't see that evening she has to spend with, who is that horrifying stone monster that killed Superman? Apocalypse?
Doomsday.
Yeah, could you imagine having a one-night stand with Doomsday?
I could. A lot of people did. There is a lot of fan art, Garrett. Do not go on TV and art. It's horrible.
I don't even know if that's still up. Probably is.
It was when that movie came out.
Oh, God.
No.
You know what? You made this awful. Anyway, I'm exhausting yet another topic I've exhausted frequently with no regrets. Oh, yeah, with no regrets. What?
Yeah, I don't know.
He just constantly talks about this?
Yeah, and part of it's how much longer will I try before I realize I'm desperate in the situation and that I'm in again. Part of this also just sounds like maybe it's not even about a girl. Maybe this is about just his general failure. Maybe Max just really wanted to go to UCLA and had to settle for Eve 6 instead.
Better choice.
Maybe.
Almost certainly.
He should have released the first album and then done a Rivers Cuomo and gone to UCLA.
Yeah, if you want it. Well, that's assuming he even wanted to. Abstruse and lacking rationale, but making so much sense somehow. A stone has blocked my hourglass. No progress made. No time runs out. Yeah.
I don't know what abstruse means, and I did not bother to look it up.
I think it's lacking clarity. Or it sounds an awful lot like obtuse.
It might be mistranscribed.
Nah, it's a word.
I'd almost rather have the latter, save myself with sad defeat. A stone just broke my hourglass. I peel the skin that had me trapped. A lot of this sounds, and it's going to get more so on this album, like he's just battling some sort of weird drug addiction. And
I assumed it meant he was finally able to move on. Like his hourglass was stuck, fixated on this woman, and he's finally broken through. I don't know what rock is what broke him, but he's ready to move on. He's shed his skin of obsession.
Oh, well, then he's doing better than you at this age.
Absolutely, Tim. I didn't get my shit together till like 27.
Oh.
I got better progressively over that amount of time, for sure.
Yeah.
17 to 19, huge jump. 19 to 23, huge jump. But every progressive year, it'd be like looking in the mirror every day. You barely see a difference, but you're getting there.
Well, good for you. I'm glad you improved.
I had to. Society would not abide what I was. You
That's
were
fair.
Almost no different.
I was doing all right.
You were not. Like, on paper, sure, but like socially, heavens no.
Oh, yeah, no, socially, terrible. Garbage person.
Yeah, there you go. All right. I think that's about it. Anything else to call out here?
No.
Fantastic. Track number 2, the hit, Inside Out.
I would swallow my pride, I would choke on the rhymes, but the lack thereof will make me happy.
This is the one that everyone, and I mean everybody knows. And everyone should know it. It's very catchy.
Yeah, catchy song. Pretty good.
Yeah, is this
Kinda
the
seems-
one you've heard a bunch of times?
It's not the one I've heard the most.
Oh, come on.
It's not. It's the second most.
It better not be that goddamn Open Road song.
Who's to say we haven't gotten there yet?
I swear to God, I will slap you.
I really hope that happens. And you have a promise from me right now. If you do that, I promise I won't even react
Interesting. All right, I'm going to slap you.
during the show.
Okay. Is this one of those times when we pause the mics and you say this isn't the show anymore and then you react to something?
I don't know. I'm not sure yet. I might go all Gary Oldman in The Professional on you. We'll see. He
I
really
would
loses
swallow my pride. I would choke on the rinds, but the lack thereof would leave me empty inside. Swallow my doubt, turn it inside out. Find nothing but faith in nothing. Wanna put my tender heart in it. I love this song, Garrett. This is a good song.
It's very catchy. It's very catchy. Unfortunately, it seems to be sort of tragic.
Yeah, well, they all are, Garrett.
I don't know about that.
This is a story about not breaking up with somebody when you really should.
Or at least professing that they'd be more than happy to get back with you. Just if you give them just a chance.
See, well, maybe.
Let's see. Let's get into it. So he would swallow his pride, choke on the rinds. We all know that pride is very rindy.
It's like a lemon.
Exactly. But the lack thereof would leave him empty inside, implying he has no pride, right?
Yes.
Great.
Or at least that his pride has no rinds.
No. No, let's not confuse anyone. It's not that.
Okay.
Swallow my doubt, turn it inside out, find nothing but faith in nothing.
Wanna put my tender
You gotta stop or
heart
I'll
in a
start
blender.
doing it. I'm trying so hard. Swallow my doubt, turn it inside out. Wants to turn his doubt into confidence?
I guess, but then
Find
nothing.
nothing but faith in nothing.
Right, you're never going to be confident. He is a grade A 17-year-old Garrett.
Well, maybe he's trying to find faith in nothing, Tim. He doesn't need to put it in other people or a fake religion. Just have faith.
Or a real religion, one would say. But yeah, maybe. But I think he's just, he ends up with no actual confidence.
Well, yeah, as we will see. Let's continue. As you said, want to put my tender heart in a blender, watch it spin round to a beautiful oblivion.
Rendezvous then I'm
God
through
damn it.
with you.
I hate you. Insane. Anyway, so he wants, that's what made me think he wanted to get back with her, have a bit of a roll around, and then leave her in some sort of revenge breakup.
Oh, that's not going to work out in your favor.
Oh, sometimes it does.
Not if you're a 17-year-old to 19-year-old boy.
Interesting.
You do not have the upper hand.
That's
Women
true.
are strange, mysterious, and
Unpredictable
yes,
people.
yes. I think
And
that
smarter than you. That's the most important part.
everyone is. At 17, come now.
Oh, that's true. I'll smash this. God, what's wrong with you?
Yeah, I want to put these hammers in this washing machine.
It was a dryer, a series of dryers. I was drying my hammers. You know a faster way? I'd like to hear it.
Dear God.
I live in the future, Tim. We use mechanics.
I think that in this song, what he's saying is he's having to
Continually put himself into an emotionally distressing situation just to be with her.
Exactly. But he might not even like her, right? He needs to be with somebody.
Of course.
And I think that in part he's going insane having to sit there all day with this person that he is slowly growing to hate. You can picture this, right? He's committed to somebody or a project or whatever. Let's say 2017. And then all of a sudden it's more than half a decade later. You should have said no initially. You never wanted to do this, but now you're stuck. You let yourself be convinced to keep going. And now you're in too deep, trying to keep up above in your head. There's no way to turn back. I mean, you make plans to leave, you fantasize about it, but deep down, you know you're a coward. You know that you're gonna, when you die, you're gonna die with nothing, no real accomplishments other than living what many would consider a truly unconventional life, and you're going to end up just being found by a bunch of ungrateful fucking interns who now they will never get that college credit they've been doing all of this for, and they're probably just going to cane your corpse.
I worry about the descendants of those Dutch that escaped.
Well, we will get to that.
Will we?
I know where they are, Garrett. They're in Dumbo.
Oh.
They're in a where we'll get to it. This is part of why I need the Cambodians and the weapons, Garrett. We have to.
Anyway, Jesus Christ. So much to bleep. Let's see. Back to the song. A burn like a wicker cabinet, chalk white and oh so frail. I see our time has gotten stale. The tick-tock of the clock is painful, all sane and logical.
Yeah, no, that's great.
I wanna tear it off the wall.
There it is.
Nope, not gonna do it. I hear words and clips and phrases. I think sick like ginger ale. Nope. My stomach turns and I exhale. No, we're not gonna do it.
Yeah, but I think he hates this girl too, right? Like
seething cauldron of rage, sort of a Hulk situation.
Right, like a 17-year-old Garrett.
Yes. You could fry an egg on my skin. I was so angry.
Right, bag full of hammers, no idea why you bought them.
Don't even remember putting them in those bags. Just suddenly you're standing at a bus stop and some old lady asks, "Hello, why do you have all of those hammers?" You look down, you say, "What how?" For instance.
Right, and they are very, very dirty. I mean, covered in some sort of thick goo.
Some sort of rust.
Right, you're going to have to wash that red off of them and then dry them. I get it.
It's rust, Tim.
Right, they are rusty. No one's saying they're not also rusty.
Not also. That's what that red is. Anyway, SoCal is where my mind states, but it's not my state of mind. I'm not as ugly, sad as you. Some sort of vapid materialistic monster.
Sort of, but folded up and just, or am I origami? Folded up and just pretend, demented as the motives in your head. So he's kind of blaming her, right? He doesn't really want to be in this relationship. He's doing it just for his own gross gratification, or possibly
we don't know what his motives are, but they almost certainly
some sort of weird revenge fantasy. But he's ended up. She's just toying with him too.
Oh yeah, I think now. Granted, it's all through the lens of one person, so take it all with a grain of salt. But I think Max is a trustworthy fellow. I think it's fair to say she is consistently taking advantage of him, but he's taking it because he has a low self-esteem and limited options.
Right, and that bag full of hammers.
Let's put that out. Let's leave that out. Let's just put down the bag of hammers for the rest of the episode.
All right.
We need to stop talking about that. So much bleeping. Anyway, I alone am the one you don't know you need. Take heed, feed your ego. Make me blind when your eyes close, sink when you get close, tie me to the bedpost. Best I got, Tim, is he becomes submissive in the relationship and may literally like to tie him up.
Yes.
I don't believe I would care to be tied up in a sexual situation.
No, not in any situation.
It's just not my thing. I like full range of motion.
You'd like to be the aggressor.
Oh my. Track number 3, Leech. Don't love it when they slow down.
No, it is not good. This one, I get the feeling that Maximus is just going around fucking with people he considers beneath him. Like,
oh, interesting.
A lot of these songs seem to be from this like kind of aloof and like removed from his own life and his own conversations kind of thing. Like basically he's at a party with his girlfriend who he is no longer interested in impressing, and he hates her friends and is just fucking with them.
Oh, that's relatable.
Yes, it's a very Tim move. It's a very Garrett move. I mean, because we had this in college, like when somebody would get drunk and say like dumb bullshit, and you just kind of fuck with them, like somebody that was like clearly like bragging and lying.
Yeah, and you just fuck with them. You ask them a lot of detailed questions, get them to trip up.
Yeah,
engage in some recreational lying yourself in order to create just sort of a big spider's web that's going to make him look like a jackass.
If it somehow ends with them getting a neck tattoo, all the better.
Oh God, I almost got 4 people to tattoo longhorns on the bottom of their feet one night.
Whoa.
So close.
Wait, I was one of those people, you son of a bitch.
I couldn't quite remember if you were. I was like, oh wait, I think he was there. Oh, so close. Bottom of the feet too. Like, Ouch.
Yeah, and who is that for?
Idiots. Yeah, who is that for? God, so funny.
Tell
Anyway.
those stories to me, I'm dying to hear. The things you've done and seen, far-fetched as they may be. You strike a smile in me, your stories ring of perjury, construed with self-empowering theme. He's just...
All right, hold on. I've got an alternate theory. One, this is a perfect metaphor for our show. We both actively and recreationally tell each other real stories with slight embellishments and enhancements for the sake of storytelling or enhancing the general podcast.
Sometimes to
large,
protect the innocent.
Often. Or to protect the guilty.
Oh, yeah, even more of that. Especially when it's me. So guilty.
Correct. But I mean, you do strike a smile in me. Your stories do ring of perjury. You've literally perjured yourself on this show.
This is not a court of law.
It's ambiguous.
You wear
Is
a
it
judge's
US
robe and a weird wig, but...
I was going to say, it's not a U.S. court of law, but I am fairly certain we are zoned for Australian court.
Guess
Yeah,
I'm not
hence
going to
the-
Australia.
Yeah, no, you've been convicted. I am... What did you think all those sentencings were? Just for funsies?
I assumed you like to play judge.
God damn it. No, I'm an Australian judge.
Barrister. Isn't that something?
No, that's a lawyer.
Oh, well, I need
Anyway.
a barrister.
Yeah, you would have. Gino.
Oh, shit.
Yeah, well, it's too late anyway. You've been sentenced. Anyway, song continue. Oh, other real alternate theory. Kind of sounds like somebody who's recruiting this dude for a cult.
Yeah, but he is, like, he's well aware. Like, this guy
Yeah,
assumes
he's onto
he's
it.
drunk and he's, like, just happened to be, like, one beer in. He's like, yeah, this is fun. Yeah.
Yeah.
You try and get me into this cult. Here's the danger of doing that, though. You think you can outsmart a cult leader, but you might not be able to.
Yeah, they didn't get followers on accident.
Yeah, sometimes you just end up and it's more than half a decade later and you just, God damn it, why am I doing this? Why do
Where
I
did
live
get
this way?
fucking bag of hammers?
Why did I get these tattoos on the bottom of my feet?
How much would it cost to get you to tattoo my initials on the bottoms of your feet? G and H.
One on each foot?
Yeah.
How big?
Pretty big.
The G
Pretty big.
covering the entire foot?
Not the entire foot, like from the bottom of your ball of your foot to the start of your heel. Like, have you seen the tattoos on Moby's arms?
Yeah, of course.
That big, but on
That's
your
too
foot.
big. Does it have to be,
A
is it
little
like
smaller.
black or is it like
It's solid black.
so, but like block letters? Like most of
Yeah,
my foot
exactly.
is black is what you're saying.
You can no. Your rest of your foot's normal, Tim, and you can even choose the font.
Comic
not Old
Sans.
English. Papyrus. I'm gonna have the Avatar font on my feet. No, anyway, we're getting off topic. How much is it gonna cost me to get my initials on the bottom of your feet?
I don't know. We're gonna have that's gonna go back and forth.
Oh God!
Yeah.
It doesn't. It's awful because our lawyer's negotiating is just you and I talking to Gino.
Yeah, it's the same guy.
Yeah, I hate whispering with that guy. He does not brush his teeth. He smells like death.
No, and you have to get so close to his ears, and they're so hairy,
so hairy.
and they also smell like death.
Yeah, nobody tells you that old men grow ear hair on the outside of their ear, not just out the inside. It's bizarre. It's bizarre.
Sucking on my brain, you're the teacher on the student, turning things around, your story's not congruent. Tabloid, decoys, pitiful excuses, turning things around, you're turning things around. Go!
It almost sounds like a teacher, but we'll go with cult leader.
I had a Spanish teacher in high school that used to tell very obviously fabricated stories. And it was really weird. Like, but
To
people
sound cool?
No, I mean, no, he just, because he was from Bolivia, but like, so he had started out being, like, this guy's got a lot of crazy fucking stories from Bolivia. And then,
Makes
like,
sense.
halfway through the semester, he just ran out. But, like, everyone would, because they didn't want to do any goddamn work, so they're like, hey, tell us one of your awesome stories. And he would sit there and, you know, for half the class, just tell you a great story. And they were great. The first ones were great. And then he ran out of stories, and he clearly just started making shit up halfway through the year.
Just say you don't have any. Anyway, you're taking me away into your false reality. I know your comfort lies in lying to try to make your life make sense, but you're not making sense with your 2 cents. Now, Tim, let me put a wild theory at you. Hot take. What if that you're taking me away into your false reality with all these lies and they're incongruent? What if we're dealing with like a Nosferatu situation and like it sucks you into Christmas land just by talking about it? So like the
Oh.
more this person's talking, the more like, oh, I know you're lying, but God, I'm so tired. My teeth keep falling out.
Terrifying
And then
stuff.
suddenly they wake up in that false reality this person's been talking about, and they're sucking on their brain, using it to feed on them. It's all right
Interesting.
there.
Yeah, it
If
is
you haven't
all
read
right
that
there.
book, no one knows what I'm talking about. But if you have, you're mildly entertained.
Is that Stephen King or Stephen King's son?
Son of King.
It's a good book, I think.
Yeah. What is his name? Jake Bug? Jack Busey?
Joe Hill. Jake
Joe
Bug
Hill.
is a different guy.
Yeah, they all are.
You can tell because of the different names.
And different physical presence. Anyway, I'd say it aloud, but I'm not allowed. I see your head spin round and round. He's scared to call this person out for their crazy, but he can tell that they're definitely unhinged.
I don't think he's scared. I think his girlfriend made him promise not to embarrass her at this party again. And so he's just sitting there. But he kind of enjoys it, but he likes to build up to give him just enough rope so that they like really make it. So he's like a lawyer.
Oh, I like this.
He walks them out so that he's like tangled them around so he's got a definite, like, I can prove you're lying using just your own words. And then, shit, I can't say it. I can't. I promised my girlfriend I wouldn't.
Yeah, so he's hanging out at a party. There's a dude there in a vest, no shirt, long hair, telling stories about Bolivia. And he's just like, I have been to Bolivia, and you clearly have not. And so he spends like 40 minutes just kind of laying the trap, dicking with this guy. First letting him know that he knows, and then like kind of giving him that scare that like, hey man, at any minute, like I can really let this whole room know you're full of shit. You don't do it, but you plan to. And then right before he pulls the trigger, he's like, oh, fuck. Sharon said if I do this again, she's gonna fucking leave me here.
Right. And now, even worse.
It's like a work party.
Yeah.
He has to be nice to the coworkers, even though Raul is a fucking piece of garbage.
Yeah, but even worse at this point, because you were planning on destroying him at the end, you've just been building him up. So now, this guy's going to get laid off of this story. And you helped that happen.
You made all his colleagues believe his nonsense. And it was all, oh God, this is all very personal, Tim. I'm surprised you didn't relate more to this album. This is you.
No, it's not. Wait, am I the
Not
one
this-
that's fucking with people?
Yeah,
Oh,
you're the
okay.
one fucking with people.
Very insulted for a second there. Yeah, no, I
you're
do this
not
all
Raoul.
the time.
Yeah, you're a lot of things, but in a party scenario, you are not in any way seeking to steal attention or in any way bragging. It's one of your better traits.
I'm there to sow discord, which is not one of my better traits.
yeah, I guess if everyone realized what you were actually doing, but few do.
Right.
That helps.
Until they all do.
It's also worse.
Until I get them to my own personal Christmas land.
Oh my God, why are my teeth falling out? Broken record talk tonight. Skip that needle, back and forth on your mind, wearing out unconvincing lies. Like a seedling dropped from an old oak tree, your shade don't hide no sun from me. I think he's just completely done with this person. Like what used to be kind of fun has now turned into some sort of Terrence Howard nightmare, and they won't shut up. And so it's just like, I don't believe any of this. I am so sorry that I ever encouraged you. Oh, maybe it's your scenario, Tim, but the guy, because he's so up his own ass, he never realized that you were like very clearly setting him up. And so he like got your number from your wife and was like, hey, yeah, no, I really enjoyed talking to Tim. Can I text him? And then of course your wife, if she's married to you, is also a psychopath and was like, absolutely. Here's Tim's number. And so
Tell
now
him
this
about
mother-
that 1 times 1 theory you have. God damn.
Yeah,
him
so
so
now he's
much.
just stuck having to deal with this fucking son of a bitch. Love it. All right, that brings on track number 4, allegedly Showerhead.
Aha!
I really didn't think this was in here. Prevalent drums, they're super hollow. Is it okay for me to call this a poor man's Red Hot Chili Peppers?
Yeah, it's not funky, but I
It's
do understand
not.
what you're saying.
It's not 90s Chili Peppers, it's early aughts Chili Peppers.
Yeah, maybe early 2010s Chili Peppers.
It really might be early teens Peppers.
ETPs.
As we all know, the
Garrett, what is this
sort
song
of
about?
I think it's a gross song of betrayal.
Okay, I think what this is about oral sex in the shower, which again, to our younger listeners, think through those angles so you don't drown. It's presumably about his lady cheating on him in the shower. However,
Yeah, it's interesting you've decided to make it oral sex.
well, it's called shower head. Head in the shower, you
well,
see.
again, I did not think it was called that.
That's
so.
fair. That's fair. But I did know it was called that, and so I have a better theory. theory, Garrett, that I will be attempting to convince
Shoehorn?
everyone of. Yes, attempting to shoehorn. I believe that this is a song about an anthropomorphic showerhead, a living showerhead, if you will, that
I will.
a woman has moved into this house. He has fallen in love with her, and he does not like her new boyfriend.
The showerhead.
The showerhead, yeah.
There's a movie out there, folks.
It's
about
exactly this.
It's definitely not. From the brain that brought you absolutely nothing.
Hey,
Oh, okay.
that pornography where Garrett's face is on everything.
Oh, God. We're cutting or bleeping most of that. From the minds of Jolliver. What's the Fawcett's name? Frank? Frank Fawcett?
I had some thoughts. I like Mitchell. I like Sal.
Mitchell, is he an accountant?
Maybe. Sal is good. That's more of a, if he's a Brooklyn showerhead. Telly Savalas is pretty good. TV's
That is a great name.
Theo Kojak. Who loves you, baby?
Oh, yeah. What?
I've been watching a lot of Kojak this week.
This is great. I don't know what Tim this is. He's fun. Knows a lot of stuff that I know.
Yes.
Weird. I love these names. Mitchell. I'm going to say this. Mitchell sounds like a showerhead that might actually steal your girl.
I disagree. Mitchell sounds like a showerhead who is an incel.
Anyway, let's get back on topic, I guess. Anthropomorphic showerhead. Interesting. Okay,
It's like
let's get into
pictured
it.
as a Pixar movie, Garrett.
No. It can't be a Pixar movie because they're having intercourse.
They're not going to show it. I mean,
Who?
the movie.
Who's going to show what? No! Oh, you meant literally. I thought you meant in the style of Pixar. You are actually saying picture a movie. They're not
Yes.
going to make this movie. What's it a metaphor for?
It's not a
Healthy
metaphor.
self-love?
It's not a metaphor.
all
It's a
are.
literal. No, not this one. This is about a shower.
This one's about a lady who fucks her shower head.
No, Garrett. No, it's not gross. It's about a showerhead who, troublingly, magically, horribly comes to life, falls in love with the lady whose apartment he's in, as you would, right? He's stuck to the wall. He doesn't have many options. And, then the showerhead man, she's got a boyfriend. He is upset that he has to watch her bang. He hates her boyfriend because the boyfriend's a dickhead, does not appreciate her, does not deserve her, and does not treat her the way that the showerhead would. And,
Or treat the showerhead the way that she does. She soaks the head, gets rid of that hard water deposits.
Exactly. And I don't know if he's going to eventually work up the courage to try to convince this woman she'd be better off if she breaks up with a boyfriend to be with a showerhead. But, we're at least going to get the first 90% of that. Let's get into it.
What you're describing is way night and day different from what I was picturing. And I do want to point out, though, the words in here are going to make it gross.
Oh, sure. We're going to get after dark here.
Yeah, but your story didn't sound after dark. It didn't sound like she had sex with the shower.
No, it doesn't. She's having sex with a boyfriend.
Okay.
But we're not going to show it. It's going to be implied. Maybe there's going to be tasteful nudity, sure.
Well, it's about a shower.
It's a Pixar movie.
And okay, we got to get into it. Song begins, cheap shot, hawked straight to the eardrum. Is it some sick sign of affection? Violated and singed with deceit, disgusted from my head to my hands to my feet. Your face it gives foul taste, whether smiling, crying, or denying. A lot of weird phrases in that stanza.
Absolutely. It sounds like a guy who wrote a normal song right after suffering a severe head injury. Disgust from my head to my hands to my feet. Your face, it gives foul taste, whether smiling, crying, or denying. I see your motives. What?
Yeah, it's very strange. Okay, so let's break it down. Sounds to me like he's accusing her of something, and she's denying it, and he's just like, your face makes me so angry with your lies, whether you're smiling, crying, or actively denying what I definitely think you've been doing.
Absolutely. Now, of course, that's not really what this is about. This is about a showerhead watching this boyfriend not treat her correctly, right? He's cheap shots, hawked straight to the eardrum, right? He is being mean to her. Maybe he's negging her, but maybe he's just a dickhead. Right. Is it something? He's not that familiar with human interactions because, he's a showerhead. Right. So is it a sign of infection? Is this how people relate? No, I'm so fucking angry. She deserves better.
Can the showerhead be French?
Not if he's named Sal or Kojak. Maybe tell it.
Sure.
Maybe Savalas. What if he is a
Pierre
Spaniard?
Savalas. Oh, like
Savalas.
the Nasonex bee.
Yes, exactly. Exactly.
Hello, and welcome to another shower.
And maybe like sometimes she went to Spain, you know, and so
she's got long conversations in Espanol.
No, that's silly. She's got a Spanish, like a hat that she got there, and sometimes to let it, dry out if it's been raining or something, she hangs it over the shower head, and that's how he became Spanish.
I hate you so much. And then he was struck by lightning while wearing a sombrero.
Sure. I mean, that's
yeah, more or less.
With these Brooklyn plumbing, like that's a legitimate concern.
God damn it. Anyway, song continues. The chorus really kind of spells it out. Let's see. He says, I see your motives and you're charged with fraud by me, so take the hint and leave. So he's accusing her of something, and if anybody's curious what he's accusing her of, we continue. I loved you while he was in you in the shower. Did enjoy an ecstasy. Your eyes begin to water. Hey, I loved you while he was in you in the shower.
Right. The shower head is watching this and has been like, come on, man. I love you, but yeah, I don't like this.
What is going on? Gloria, why is he in here with us? This is our time.
Exactly.
No, he's not going to. Oh my God. You're disgusting.
Not her,
my
though.
Gloria.
Not her.
No, not her. Not her. But can you imagine? Okay.
I can't imagine.
I hate that I've been pulled into this terrible story. First, let's talk about what's clearly on the page. This woman has been cheating on him in the shower.
Right. Yeah, of course.
She's getting railed in the shower, and he finally figured it out. He's like, wait a minute, these aren't my loads in the shower. What's going on here? That was an honest oh dear. My goodness. So the song gets considerably louder after the opening. Not sure if it did that for you too. And it continues with, and if I may stop by when you're living in the next town, 10 years down the road, a good time for a dime and a crushed cigarette, making bets with your body on the avenue. Is he assuming 10 years from now she's going to be drug-addled and selling her body for money?
Yes, because that's what happens if you bang in the shower.
Or if you run away with a shower head.
Well, yeah, the shower head. I mean, that's the thing, Garrett. Like, the shower head might be there for you emotionally, but it's not going to be like, it's not going to make the money.
No, logistically, it's just not going to work.
Right. I'm not saying she's right to choose the shower head. That's the romantic version, you know?
See, to me, I'm picturing very much a Beauty and the Beast thing. Maybe the shower head used to be a man and he's become a cursed shower head.
Oh, that could be. I could get behind that twist.
Yeah.
And so somehow, like, she spends a lot of the movie trying to make him back into a man.
Well, that's the question. Does the shower head reveal to the woman that he is anthropomorphic?
She knows, yes. Because he's going to try and convince her at some point that her boyfriend's no good and she should be with him.
Right, but he can't introduce himself on the same day he does that.
Oh, no.
Do we get to see these two build a relationship?
Yes, of course.
Okay. And is it sexual?
I mean, in as much as a woman can be with a shower head, yes. Graphically so.
So quite. like the most. I'm not sure what would be better. Like an actual sex toy might be more limited than an anthropomorphic removable shower head could be in a sexual situation.
I mean, it does have a...
it's got the cord.
Oh, yeah.
The cord. Yeah. I mean, otherwise, you're really limiting what we can do with this movie.
Yeah, absolutely.
Because, like, imagine if the boyfriend and the girlfriend... I hate that I'm invested now, by the way.
So invested.
Because if you have that little cord, then the head can, like, peek out from around the shower and be like, oh, they're fighting again.
Yeah, he's listening, he's watching, he's judging.
I hope Yennefer comes in here to have another shower.
Yeah.
Oh, I love this.
You know, the worst day of that shower's life is when it's just the boyfriend in there.
Oh, yeah.
I assume he's like throwing out like super hot water and then immediately shutting to cold and just fucking with him. I would.
What if so at some point we're going to see the perspective of the couple that lives there and it's just a normal shower head. And then at some point you cut over to what we're all assuming is Antonio Banderas voicing the shower head.
Sure, yeah, it's like a Calvin and Hobbes kind of thing. Like everyone else sees it. She sees it as like fully cartoon tiger shower head thing. Yeah.
Tiger?
Calvin and Hobbes. It's not actually a tiger. Tiger's a metaphor for what?
I see. Anyway, when that happens, what are the odds that we learn that shower heads are all vomiting that water? And so when she turns on the showers,
Interesting. So it can only have conversations with her while she's like getting ready, but not showering.
Yeah, and then he turns it, and then she's like, I have to turn it on. He's like, I understand.
I like it. He's
She flips the
sacrificing
switch.
for. That's what part of what makes him so worthy of her.
Mm-hmm.
He's willing to vomit all over her at a moment's
it's
notice.
horrific for him.
Yeah.
It's not so bad.
You're right, this is a pretty good movie.
It's not the worst one we've written.
It's got, there's emotional stakes here. There's character growth. There's graphic sex.
It's the most graphic. Yeah, we really did it. I think the only other lyrics I'm gonna read from this song before we move on is "Just trust me," you said. Just trust me, you said. Just trust me, you said. Nasonex. Track number 5, Open Road Song.
For a moment, I love everything that I see and think and feel.
Garrett, is this the song that you've heard the most?
Let me answer that by saying, tonight I feel ambitious and so does my foot as it sinks on the pedal. I press it to the... Well then.
Garrett, I would like to apologize. Okay, and you're... Garrett,
Sorry, folks.
I would like to publicly apologize to you for my inconsiderate and, frankly, horrific actions. I'm sorry.
I think we both learned a lot today.
Yes. Mm-hmm.
My goodness, my hands are sore.
My face is sore.
I would like to let you know, Tim, that's one of the best slaps you've ever given.
Oh, thank you. Thank
really
you. I
got
will
a lot of
say
meat.
my single slap did not hold a candle to any of yours.
The trick is to use a lot of shoulder.
I feel like your trick is how much handball you've been playing in the park.
That's your fault, friend. You introduced me to those gentlemen.
That's
and once
true.
you join, Tim, they don't let you leave. It's kind of like Fight Club, but there's a lot more Bosnians.
Anyway, this is more Epitaph's Records style pop punk.
Yeah, okay, so I do want to address the elephant in the room. I have heard this song more than any other song on this album.
Shocking.
It is. And here's where I'm going to build a bridge. Let us touch tips. I fully admit this song is Cheese City.
Yeah, it's not great.
I really enjoy it. It's catchy as shit. It drives, man.
Okay, see, that is a stupid metaphor you just did there. Almost worthy of a slap. If I weren't so afraid of you, I would give you one.
What do you mean? There was no metaphor. What are you talking about? I'm just saying
it's a pun? Fuck you.
It's not meant to be. The lyrics are insanely stupid.
Yes.
Having said that, I couldn't have related to this song more in 1999 Fort Worth, Texas.
Well, I will say that I sort of agree with that because I spent a lot of time angry and driving around until eventually you stopped somewhere and got drunk.
Right. And then you were less angry.
Yes.
Slightly. Sometimes more. Anyway, so let's go back to it with me not singing. Tonight I feel ambitious, and so does my foot as it sinks on the pedal. I press it to the floor. So yeah, he's going out driving. There's nothing better to do. He's alone, and he's a little angry.
Yeah, this is So this is one of the songs that makes sense for their life stage on here.
Yeah, this is spot on. And given that I was 16 or so when I was into this album, like it was perfect for me. And again, I fully admit it's not great. It's catchy. It is catchy.
I don't need a girl, don't need a friend, 'cause my friend Lonesome's unconditional. We're flying forever bored.
Again, I did not have a girl. I did have friends. I can say confidently, we never really addressed that here on the show. In high school, I at least had friends.
You didn't hang out with them, but that was mostly Fred's fault.
Yeah, that was because I had a ludicrously strict family.
And a father who would eat ice cream in his tidy whities.
Yes.
Probably some of that.
He's a real Hal character.
Yes. Yeah. Bryan Cranston's best role to date.
Yeah, based solely on my father, I believe.
Yes. For me, it's based on that episode where he rented a steamroller and then got addicted to it.
Yeah, that all matches. For a moment, I love everything I see and think and feel. I love my broken side view mirror. Sorry. Yeah, I mean, Tim, Garrett Harvey, fun fact, I did not have a rear view mirror for about 2 years in high school.
That checks out. You backed into a lot of stuff.
I did back into a lot of stuff, but my car was so old. There was no like electronics or anything back then. So the glue just melted and it fell off one day while I was sitting in the car. I was like, well, I guess I don't need that.
Yeah, Texas was fun like that. One day, much after high school and after college, the paint just fell off my car. like big strips of it. And then I kept that car without the paint till I left Austin with you.
God, that was so funny. Because if you wouldn't guess it, but Tim's a fairly particular, organized human being. He's a tidy person, except for when he makes huge messes. But just as a person, he has a high standard for his own things. Your car was abysmal in every measurable way.
Well, it was just so old.
Yeah, it made total sense to just be like, well, it's more the Earth's car than my car. It's not really my place to make stylistic adjustments or any mechanical updates. Just too close to death.
It just didn't care.
Yeah, you really didn't. It was magnificent. I've never seen somebody... That's not true. You still have a TV that you purchased like a decade ago.
Yeah, but I haven't turned it on in years.
Yeah, that's even weirder.
We watch your TV, friend.
It's true. Because it's so perfect. I'm so perfect. You're so perfect. You're not here. I hear the change in gears. My pile shakes as I hit 80 on the open road. This is an open road song. Tim, Garrett Harvey fun fact, my 93 Ford F-150 shook violently at speeds over 64 miles an hour.
That makes sense.
So violently. I can't tell you how many times I have driven down the highway screaming this song as my pile shook.
What is a pile?
My car. My giant
pile
shitty
of
car.
Shit. Okay. All right.
Yeah, there you go. The night is beckoning, although I have nowhere to go but home. It feels good to be alone. Absolutely.
No, it doesn't. It would feel much better to be with anyone.
Not when you're 16 and you just can't
What if
contain
that
it.
someone was a lady?
Well, yeah, but you have to be realistic. And, in every woman's defense when I was 16, I was terrible.
It's not the women's fault, Gareth. No one's saying that.
Yeah, it wasn't. God, I was dreadful. Let's see. We get several more My Pile Shakes as I hit 80 on the open road before I crack a window and feel the cool air cleanse my every pore as I pour my poor heart out to a radio song that's patient and willing to listen. My volume drowns it out. And now, Tim, this is just beautiful writing. I'm doing the very thing the song's talking about. You seem nonplussed.
No, I was not impressed by this song.
I can tell. By the slap. The life-threatening slap.
What? No, my life... No, yeah, all right. I get it. I see what you did.
I search for comfort, and I find it where I've found it many times before. Times before can be forgotten. I don't actually, I'm not real sure what that means.
Well, I feel
Maybe like seeking comfort in the song to help him forget about the other bad times and the almost certain bad times to come.
I think it's finding comfort in the blinding road as you drive super fast and your car shakes and you just kind of forget where you're going, forget how you got there, just kind of
end up in North Fort Worth in the middle of a Cops taping. We've all been there.
Yeah, all Cops episodes taped in Fort Worth.
Very strange. In areas I have never seen.
Yes, me either.
And some I have seen several times. Anywho, track number 6, the unfortunately titled Jesus Nightlight.
Yeah, my time is right.
This song is kind of gross.
Oh, somehow one of their longer songs, by the way. Not a big fan of this. Oh yeah, this is a weird one. It's definitely about pining.
This is about trying to convince someone to bang you that does not want to bang you, possibly for religious reasons, but also this person is somebody that still uses a nightlight, and that nightlight is shaped like Jesus. Conclude from that what you will. I argue this is sinister.
Liberty University material is what I heard.
Yeah, that's fair.
It kind of all checks out.
Yeah, your eyes shine bright like a Jesus nightlight. I'd like to touch your positive vibes. Indifferent eyes won't give me the time. May I help put aside your moral fiber? Yeah, this is about clumsy dorm room fumbling, but the lady doesn't seem into it.
No, and the man doesn't seem to know how to talk about it in a way that isn't disgusting.
Right.
Is moral fiber code for panties? Does he want to pull aside her moral fiber, Tim?
No, Garrett, she is a moral lady who does not want to have sex with him, and he's going to try to convince her to leave her morals aside so that he will.
Let me part your curtains of morality morality.
Well, there
I'm
we
sorry.
go.
I'm so sorry. There was a dirtier version that I didn't say. You're welcome.
Thank you.
You're dressed in white. My face is white. I'd like to be a and other small talk that you should not say. Oh, now I remember my theory for this song. It's actually pretty solid. Okay, let's get into it. You're dressed in white. My face is white. I'd like to be a colorful sight to see. I'm only here in the background. Tim, what if this person, who is clearly pining for somebody who wants nothing to do with him, is at this person's wedding?
Yes. Perhaps.
So-
Okay. Just stick with me here. Sitting in the front row, unexplained to anyone at this wedding, is a showerhead. Just sitting on a chair.
What if he's been magically turned back into Antonio Banderas?
Ooh, I like it.
But he's wearing a shower curtain so that she'll recognize him.
Yes, she does not know what he looks like as a Spaniard. I love it.
Or he's got like the... This is insane. He's got like some piece of the shower, like he's wearing as a hat, something. Maybe it's just he's wearing a tuxedo that's made entirely out of a clear shower curtain.
I hope it's that. I hope it costs thousands and thousands of dollars, but it's okay. He's Antonio Banderas. That face is going to make that money right back.
Oh, God. All right. The song continues preposterously. Here on the ground lies my head. I sleep and then I wake, make sounds, and go to bed and wake again. I think he's been sleeping outside her window.
That makes sense. Yeah.
Yeah, he doesn't know how to tell her, like, it's been years since she moved out of that apartment. Maybe the showerhead is even responsible for them leaving. Like, she was like, oh my God, we gotta give him a name. Antonio.
Yeah.
Josue?
Done.
It's not a very, dynamic name.
It doesn't have to be, Garrett. He was a commoner, and now he's going to pretend. He's a commoner who is turned into a showerhead and has been lying to this girl saying that he is Spanish royalty, and now that he is turned back into a man, he has to pretend.
I see. I wish we had chosen to make him Castilian. It would have been more fun, but that's okay. Is it too late? It's
It
too
is.
late.
I'm
okay,
sorry.
That's fine. No, well, we'll file it away. Gino, put it on the board. Castilian. Funny voice when you use it. Okay. Anyway, the time is right, but I feel all wrong. It wastes away until it's gone. And of course he feels all wrong. Like it's his last chance. Does anybody here speak now or forever hold your peace?
Yeah, here's the thing. At somebody's wedding, the time is not right. Don't do that. Oh my God.
It really is more of a tradition. Keep your fucking mouth shut. Trust me. Especially if you just generally object, as opposed to having any particular reason or stake in the wedding.
Yeah, if you're just like,
You're wasting a lot of time and money.
I don't believe in this archaic practice. Yeah.
You're more likely to stay together if you don't.
Is that true?
I don't know.
Oh.
Anyway, probably. This show is off the rails. Okay, we wrap up with, you're walking by, I'm standing by. Behind the light, I'm standing by. By and by. She goes down the aisle, she gets married, and I don't know, maybe stalks her for another 2-3 months, and then he finally gives up.
Yeah.
Great. Track number 7, Superhero Girl.
Break the bruised monogamy.
Wow, wow, wow! Don't love that. Really hard time understanding what this song is about.
Yeah, I don't understand the superhero part of it. It seems like it's about a girl who is...
Being used?
Yeah, it seems like it's about him convincing a lady to cheat on her significant other with him.
Yes, nailed it. 100%. Well, here is me on Tragedy. I always want what's out of reach. She's pulled dyed black hair back in size. Fuck that night out with the guys. I never get a word in with them anyway. So he is a tragic figure, always wanting people that aren't available, and she is getting ready to go out and at the last minute decides, I'm not going to go out with the folks I usually go out with. Instead, I'm going to go cheat on my husband.
Yeah.
Possibly with a faucet. The telephone doesn't scare me anymore. You're home and I am here alone, my dear. Always stupidly sarcastic, my hyper-spastic. I don't think we're allowed to say that anymore. Superhero girl.
No, it's as. You're not allowed to say
Oh,
with
okay.
a Z.
So, fantastic. You just did several times.
Holy.
My hyper-spastic superhero girl. Superhero girl. I think it sounds like a woman who's willing to come over to his place whenever he calls and cheat on her dude.
Yes.
Great. So break the bruised monogamy and let him fade to memory. And your erotic, wet atomic eyes keep reoccurring in my mind. Do me a favor, please, and touch your lips to mine. Forget that marriage of 14 years and the 2 kids you have together and come bang me.
Yes. I don't understand how she's a superhero.
It's never worked before. Like he doesn't have to like go anywhere or do anything. He just calls her and she's like, yeah, I'll come on over immediately and fuck you. And he's just like, okay. That's awesome.
And also she has atomic eyes. So that's not ideal.
Maybe he actually kind of despises her and he's just mocking her, calling her his superhero girl sarcastically.
Could be.
But actually thinks that she has he actually thinks quite little of her and her low self-esteem.
Gotcha. I do love how generic superhero girl is. It's very legally distinct from Supergirl. They cannot be sued.
Absolutely not. Got that extra word in there. All right. I think that's going to do it for this song. Maybe not my least favorite either, but it might be. It's up there.
It's bad.
Let's move on. Yeah, it's not good. It's just not. All right. Track number 8, Tongue Tie. I mean, they're 16, 17. You have to have one, right?
A song about special kids?
Oh, wait. What? Well, okay, yes, but not how I thought you meant. Yeah, it's a song about a very tame rebellion against conformity.
Sure, but by the special class.
Interesting. You're going to have to sell me on that, but I look forward to it. 1,000 faces all look the same. They're all so boring, mild and tame. Contaminate him, knock off his glasses. Teach him to tamper with the cloning process. Those don't rhyme.
No, a lot of them don't. He is rebelling, as you said, in the most tame way possible, and also might be a little bit of a bully. There's a lot of there's this kind of almost sheeple imagery here.
Of course.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think they're saying knock him down a peg if he starts to step out of line. Teach him to tamper with the cloning process.
All right.
Now, this made me wonder, Tim, because contaminate him, knock off his glasses, made me wonder, are we still hitting kids at school? So I did a bit of a Google. In 19 states, including Texas, we are.
Today.
Corporal punishment remains super legal.
Interesting.
Isn't that crazy? Now, I
what
assume
about
you
in
never
the
went.
Big Apple?
I didn't look, but if I had to make an educated guess, I would say no.
No.
Also, have you seen some of these kids?
Oh, they're terrifying.
Not fucking hitting them.
No, they will throw you right on those train tracks.
Yeah, you want to hit a kid in Richardson, Texas, go at it. You want to hit a kid from fucking Boogie Down Bronx, good luck. They're going to hit back. I assume you never went to a school that did this?
No. Did you?
God, I did, yeah.
Really?
Oh, yeah.
Were you ever struck by a teacher?
No. I was a good boy.
So small.
So small. But
and
we definitely, okay, yes.
Easily cowed.
No, it was difficult to cow me.
I don't know.
Could I get a definition of cow?
No.
Anyway, there was one kid, though, that I went to the first kindergarten through second grade with, and that kid got the ever-living shit beaten out of him. He had some real serious at-home problems, not shocking.
Yeah.
And that made him act out a whole bunch in class, and he would go away to the principal's office and come back and be very quiet, but his face would be quite red and tear-filled. They would paddle the shit out of him.
Yeah, I assume today that would lead to a murder.
You would think, but it's still a thing. I didn't look to see when the last recorded paddling was.
It has to be something that's technically still on the books, but is not done anymore. Because somebody's parent would come to school and literally murder that principal.
Probably. However, counterpoint, Alabama.
Yeah, but even then, I assume...
Well, you got to imagine, when I say that, though, it's not the whole state. But, you can't tell me there aren't cities in Alabama. Listeners, write in, hatePodMail@gmail.com. What is our exposure to corporal punishment? That is hitting children at school and having it be A-okay.
But I feel
really
those small towns would be the most likely to be well, I've got a shotgun, and I'm here in your office, sir.
Yeah, I mean, it's a real catch-22, right? Because those are, at least historically, the same people that would be well, was he acting up? And he gets a pop.
Yeah, but I feel like the parent wants to give him that pop.
I don't know. It takes a village.
Pardon me, sir. Can I ask you a favor? Make me a cowboy like my next door neighbor. Garrett, we have a cowboy-related lyric that I simply do not understand.
I think he is implying that we're all cowboys.
No, that
Which
can't
again
be it.
felt
Cowboys are a
weird.
very special class, an elevated class.
Okay. Again, this song makes me feel like it might have been written for me.
I think this song
he's
was written by an idiot.
But it sounds very much like, I think he's using cowboy like, honestly, I'm not sure. I think it's like generic, like American, but I really am not sure. Now,
But
if
a
you want to relate
cowboy,
it,
like if it's about keeping people in line, a cowboy historically and currently, traditionally, is the most
Can't be tamed.
outlaw. Absolutely, they're basically the yogi of people.
oh God, so many groin kicks for both of you. Anyway, yeah, no, you're not wrong. It's interesting because if you were to have a room full of people and then you just said, go dress however you want, and then you shove somebody in that room for 5 seconds and then took them out and you said, name the most distinctive person in that room, you might struggle to have multiple people pick the same person. Do the exact same exercise and have one person dressed like a cowboy.
Right?
You're going to remember that guy.
Absolutely.
Well, there was the cowboy.
Yeah.
So it's a very odd statement. Again, 17 years old, whatever. Let's keep going. Take my tongue, it's cocked and loaded. The board has dubbed you special student. Sit alone, sweat in silence. We don't tolerate defiance.
See, and this is what makes me think this is rebellion. This is kids acting up, kids, but it's the special class, Garrett.
Yeah, I think it was more of it's not, I don't think it's that. I think it's more of a designation of
Yes.
like, oh, you're a problem kid. No, not a chromosomal one.
Doesn't have to be chromosomal. It can be all sorts. There's all sorts of genetic things here, Garrett.
God damn you. God damn you.
Probably just ADHD, to be honest. That's multifactorial. There's all sorts of environmental and genetic things that could be playing a cause.
I know what you're doing.
Might just need exercise. Maybe you need some sort of medication.
Keep pushing it. I love what you're doing. Just keep pushing
I don't think you do, and I'm scared. Hooked on nicotine and phonics, fun like macroeconomics. Sit still and quiet like they taught us, fun like macroeconomics. Vigilante thoughts and a cheap guitar. I am my own movie star. Who gives a shit?
Yeah, it's not the best. It's not the worst. I am curious, were you in the States for the Hooked on Phonics days?
No, I know about this literally from South Park.
Oh, weird. Yeah, there was in the 90s endless commercials during daytime TV where idiots would just go, Hooked on Phonics, worked for me. Well, okay.
Let's see you read, buddy.
Yeah, this is Moby Dick. If you can even pronounce Queequeg, I'll give you $1.
In their defense, that book, and it has its defenders, but that book sucks.
Yeah, most classic literature does. Looking at you, To Kill a Mockingbird.
To Kill a Mockingbird is great.
It actually is quite good.
Yeah.
Looking at you. No, oh my God, I almost said something that we'll have to edit out. But
The Color Purple?
No, I was going to say
Oh, God. That's actually
much worse.
It's true, but that is a good book.
It's a great book. Also, that poor man.
Yeah.
Assaulted, I think, twice now. And like coincidentally, not even for being whom he was.
Yeah, just like Steve Buscemi.
Yeah, I saw that. Poor Buscems. Anyway.
It's good that you weren't there, because you would have taken it too far.
Yeah, I love that man. And I would have defended him tooth and nail.
Oh,
that
God,
is to
what if
say,
you
I
saw
would have
the-
used teeth and nails.
What if you saw the Rick Moranis one?
Tim, I'd be in jail right now.
You would have taken their teeth and nails.
Abso-fucking-lutely. With my own bare hands. There are a few things I can say with certainty in the world. But if I saw a man in real fucking life attack Rick Moranis, Tim, I'd probably kill him. I would defend him like my own.
Yes.
Like a mama bear.
I don't know how.
I would consume him asshole first.
They do that. Why do they do that?
I really don't know. I honestly, I have asked myself this question, and the answer I return to frequently is the butthole may require the necessary purchase to begin tearing.
You've thought a lot about this. Garrett, track number 9 with no further bear talk, Saturday night.
You know, if you're really looking for something to listen to while you're running that will motivate, I've got the
I swear
audio
to God,
of
if you
Timothy
know-
Treadwell
Okay.
being I also have the companion track of Werner Herzog describing it.
Track number 9, Saturday night.
Something up my sleeve. There is nothing
I have a very silly, but way more interesting than what's actually going on theory here.
Please, because this song sucks.
This song's, okay, it does suck. It's not, I won't even say it sucks. It's just not very good. But I do like it for two reasons. So let's get into it. One, Saturday night burns a redness on my face. I tasted you, you tasted me. You were never my taste. Now left alone with precious thoughts of half-assed half an hour stops and talk so small I can't remember ever saying a word. He has spent an evening with a young lady. And
he's tasted her. She's tasted him. We're still talking about tasting people in songs.
Abso-fucking-lutely. After they got done licking each other, he was embarrassed at what he has done once again. It's clearly, a hookup, right? A booty call, as we said when I was a young man. And he almost immediately regrets it and is embarrassed for what he did.
Now, when you were a young man, they pronounced it bootay, right?
No. That was actually my brother's generation.
Oh.
Yeah. Luckily, by then, we had dropped the tay and we were just saying the words. As written. Before what Snoop Dogg did to the English language for like 2 years in the early aughts, that was dreadful.
Yes.
And not when he did it. It was the co-opting that made it so horrid.
Yes. But also Snoop Dogg did not do us any favors. Like, he did start that.
Yeah.
That is his fault.
He set the pattern. And it was just too easy. It was like Pig Latin. Anyone could do it. And idiots seemed to think it was fun. Anyway, song continues, laced with thick naivete, firm delusions can't be swayed. Tell yourself you're happy, we both know the truth. It's false behind the dirty talk, the dirty sheets, the sexy walk. Your eyes are closed, your heart is open wide, and that's no good. So she says that she's fine with the situation. It's very clear she isn't, and that he's like, hey, I want to keep it casual. And she's like, yeah, absolutely. And he's like, I can tell that you want something more.
Yeah. This is your fun theory?
Not yet.
Oh, okay.
Here it comes. There is something up my sleeve. There is nothing in between. You and me that you can't see, so beg my pardon. And this is where I stopped. What if it's more of a two-way street? I'll explain. She's getting the sex down, right? They're tasting each other. But what if this guy is an amateur magician that also needs somebody to like watch him practice?
Oh, yeah. You got to practice for somebody.
Right. And he's like in desperate need of validation because all magicians are secretly sad inside because nobody cares and they know it.
Just like podcasters.
At least these. Anyway, and so rather than it just being about the sex, it's about the sex. And for him, it's about the magic.
Yes. Yes.
Honesty's a virtue that can hurt you. The thought that counts is counting down the minutes till I leave. And when I do, you'll be looking for security in words, though you know that you won't get it for the better or the worse. She's looking for something there before he goes to be like, hey, I had a really good time. We should like get dinner sometime. And they both know that's not going to happen.
Right. But again, he's like, I had a really good time. You should watch me. Come to my show and clap really loudly, please.
Yes, absolutely. Yeah, he's just like, so yeah, I've got like a gig at this kid's party on Thursday.
Yeah. Basically, he wants her to do the audience equivalent of like adding money to the tip jar up front so people are like think it's okay to stick some cash in there.
You got to seed the kitty. Folks, if you work in a service-based job and you don't seed the kitty, you're not going to get any tips.
Yeah, your kitty is unseated.
That's right. You got to seed the kitty. I have no idea where that phrase came from. It's weirdly correct. Like we both know it's right, but those aren't my words.
No. Apologize for me. Then I'm coming back in a couple of weeks. I'm too weak to help it. Don't know how to end it. Maybe it's just him playing like acoustic guitar for her in the apartment, like showing her new songs.
I much prefer him with the rings and the bunnies.
Well, sure. That's much more fun. But this does sound like he's a touring musician who's just like, listen, this is somebody from his hometown. He is banging between tours and he's like, listen, hey, you're going to be here, right? Okay. Well, I'll be back in a few
regardless
weeks.
of what he does, we all realize that he's using her. But what's fun is it's very rare we get a song that is actively in the song being like, I am really taking advantage of this situation. Like, I'm so sorry. And by all accounts, you should end this.
Yes.
I'm asking, begging, because I'm not strong enough. I have to get that affirmation. I've got to show you how I saw myself in half.
Yeah.
And you clearly need the banging. God, it's weird. Let's keep moving. Track number 10, There's a Face.
Stand up, face the music.
I'm fine with skipping this song.
You know what? I like that idea. Let me say one thing about it that doesn't require us to talk about any of the lyrics. This song made me realize, somehow far too late into the album, this band was dangerously close to swerving into a ska band.
Yeah.
Like, you add some trumpets to this thing and slow it down ever so slightly, you're a real big fish. Then you got a real problem.
Not what you want.
All right, with that, let's move to the final track, track number 11, Small Town Trap.
They seem to think La Crescenta is a small town. It is 14 miles from downtown Los Angeles.
I would definitely say I live in LA.
Yes, yeah. I mean, the 14-mile drive takes you through both Pasadena and Glendale. This is not West Texas.
That's fucking hilarious. I had no idea it was that close.
Yeah, I mean, you are barely a suburb of the city. I mean, you're on the wrong side of the city. Make no mistake, but it's not small.
That's funny.
But also the name, so Small Town Trap, right? That is the sort of thing, like, on the freeway that gets people to stop in your shitty town, right? Like the Snake Farm in New Braunfels or the Schlitterbahn in New Braunfels. But that's not really what this song is about.
No, it's about getting trapped in a small town.
Yeah, but it's...
And getting bored.
Well, sure. I mean, it's just about being bored in a small town, even though you could easily drive to Los Angeles in under half an hour.
Well, I don't know, LA traffic, but...
I mapped this, Garrett. I quested this. Didn't even use Google Maps.
Shocking to learn, MapQuest, still around. Can't get live directions. Still got to print the map, but you can do it. I also want to call out that this musically does not sound like the rest of the album.
Nope.
It's like super bouncy. It sounds a little like Madonna's Beautiful Stranger, if you've ever heard that god-awful song. It's terrible. Let's get through it quick, Tim. Suffocate from lack of stimulation. Television time. Gonna break with every bead of sweat. My heart rate seems to climb. I think they're sitting around, watching TV, doing drugs.
Yeah.
Like possibly meth.
Yeah, it is sort of, it's on the desert side of LA. It's probably meth is what I'm saying.
Oh, then yeah, they're definitely doing trucker speed. My friend and I stick to the tired couches. Please pass the time. Small town trap with dreams of breaking out. Here I sit and bake my face is breaking out. Satan's in the living room, choking me with apathy. Small town trap with dreams of breaking out.
It does waffle between boring and insane pretty wildly.
Yeah, I mean, I think if you're doing meth, that sounds right.
Yeah. 3 lines in this chorus or verse or whatever this is ends in breaking out, which is not great songwriting.
No, it's not awesome. I think that they had 10 songs and they made them write an 11th.
I think they had 8 songs and they made them write 9 through 11.
That's entirely possible. I wouldn't rule it out. All right, we're almost there. Inspire me, because if you don't, I think I'll dissipate to dust. The liar in me says something's gonna happen soon because it must. Delusion's not the worst thing. It can get you by when you have literally no hope.
Yeah, it's actually...
That's not what that's saying. That's what I'm saying.
No, sure. Delusion is... Most successful people were at one point not successful and all they had was delusion. Now, most unsuccessful people also used to be unsuccessful and they had the same amount of delusion. So, you know.
Yeah, results may vary. And then it sort of goes on like that without anything really sticking out. So that brings us to how did it do? Tim, how did it do?
Way better than it should have. This sold more than 1 million copies in the US alone. It hit number 1 on the US Billboard Heat Seekers chart, but only 33 on the Billboard 200. It was the 125th and 147th best-selling album in the US in 98 and 99 respectively. Now, again, I have no idea how this did with the Dutch because Garrett refuses to commit the resources necessary to round them up. I'm pretty sure we have them confined to a warehouse near Dumbo, but we need surveillance gear, we need flashbangs, we need some door-breaching C4, plus another 3 men for the stack.
No more men, no more C4. I'm not buying you men or C4 anymore.
Garrett, it is getting expensive, but we will never be a respective institution if we don't commit. How do you think Billboard got the 200 Americans to rank albums and 100 Americans to rank songs?
When you prove yourself responsible with C4 and or the men I get you, then you can get more.
Yeah, I guess I was not responsible with those men.
Pretty cavalier with both. Well, just kept using them until we ran out.
In my defense, I used one to get rid of the other.
No comment. Tim, what did people think of this?
Well, sadly, we don't have a Robert Christgau review, but we do have 176 total ratings on Amazon, 4.7 out of 5 stars on average, 82% 5-star, 1% 1-star. If I may, Garrett, Amazon customer from 2000 called his or her review awesome. Some people call them punk, some call them pop. Some pop punk, some alternative, some rock, some grunge, but I'd have to invent a totally new category for them. They have punkish and popish songs on the CD, but they are only considered pop because their catchy tunes made them popular. Every single song is good, especially Open Road Song, Leech, and Superhero Girl. I could listen to this CD nonstop for the rest of my life and never get sick of it. If I had to compare them to somebody, they're kind of like Everclear. Maybe it's not a coincidence that they're right next to each other alphabetically, but
it is.
Don't compare them to Eve or Everlast. That'd get ugly. 5 out of 5 stars.
Yeah, don't compare them to Eve or Everlast.
Because it would get ugly.
No, because they're nothing alike. God, I want to meet this person.
Well, it's Amazon customer, so there's no chance of that.
Yeah, I know. Do you think they're trying to be cute, or do you think they honestly believe that Everlast and Eve 6 having similar names might have something to do with why they sound alike?
I hope they're trying to be cute, and that's still pretty stupid.
Yeah, both are pretty enraging.
Yeah.
That's so weird. Also, it's pop punk. It's more pop than punk. Like, could you imagine if this person met another person at a record store and they're like, what are you into? Like, oh, I'm super into punk music. Oh, wow, me too. Cool. Bring some albums over. We'll listen. And this motherfucker shows up with Eve 6.
Yeah, that would be a mocking.
I mean, like, that's a get out of my house. Like, we're not going to be friends.
Or it's that guy, the greatest day of that guy's life. He's just like, oh, I'm sorry. Let me show you better things.
Let me show you punk music.
Yeah.
Yeah. Wow. What else you got?
Well, this is by Amy. I'm not going to read the title because it gives away the best part of this, from 2003. Eve 6's first album was probably the best CD I have ever bought. Simply because I was young when this album debuted, perhaps 12 or 13, 1998. I heard the song Inside Out on the radio, and me being young had to go out immediately and buy the CD. Little did I know what I was getting into. The CD was completely revolutionary for me. Up until then, I had listened to what everyone else in my school had listened to, and that was whatever was on a certain radio station. I like to say that I lost my good music virginity to that CD. I can
God.
I can pop in the CD now, and it still sounds great. If you're considering buying the album, I would strongly recommend it. A few good tracks on this CD are Showerhead, Open Road Song, and Superhero Girl. You will not be disappointed. 5 out of 5 songs, and that review was called Good Music Virginity. Amy, you gross.
You know, I got news for you, Tim. You could have told me the title, and it wouldn't have ruined a thing. It might have only created more confusion. That's crazy. Good music virginity.
Yes.
That's not how we say that.
No, it's not. Jesus Christ.
Oh, I just had my hot coffee virginity taken this morning. How are you? Grossed out.
I had my music hymen broken today.
Oh, looks like my iced tea cherry just got popped. Am I right?
No.
Please leave.
Yeah, we're
This
bleeping
Starbucks immediately.
quite a bit of everything we've said.
What do you mean? I just was doing what you were doing.
Yeah, I'm bleeping my stuff too.
Oh, okay.
One more, Garrett.
Oh.
This is by Chris, and it's called Man on Man from 2015.
Right.
Another crappy band Cade Jackson used to listen to. If you're a doucher, then you will like this CD. If you like man on man porn, then you will like this. 1 out of 5 stars.
I don't understand what that has to do with anything.
It's
also,
gay, Garrett.
I know, I got what they meant. But who did he call out in
Cade
by name?
Jackson. I'm assuming that's somebody the young people know.
I hope it's like a neighbor guy. You're gay, Kay Jackson. Yeah? Good Lord. All right. Weird reviews. Who's this for?
This is for douchers who like man on man porn, obviously.
Who even writes that? Do you know when that was written?
That was in 2015. Far more recently than it should have been.
Yeah. Anything before 05, I would have been like, all right. But
I mean, maybe if it was him just fucking with his next door neighbor or best friend, Cade Jackson.
That's pretty funny.
Yeah.
Okay. You won me over with your doucher talk. That brings us to final thoughts, Tim. We've been all the way through it. Any revelations?
No.
Dynamite. Yeah, having revisited the whole thing end to end, I think I would say there are 3 listenable songs. Obviously, that Open Road song is a gem, a crown jewel for sure. It's not great. It's amazing for how old they were, and I wonder if I would have any enjoyment listening to any of their post-Eve 6.
You would
doubt
not.
it. Yeah. Okay, then let's ask it. We've been all the way through it. Tim, did you change your mind? Do you hate this album?
No. I mean, again, I kind of met it. I think that one song is incredibly catchy, and I would not turn it off if it came on. But other than that...
Open Road song?
Yeah, other than that, I'm good. I do not need to hear this ever again. I do really enjoy the movie we made, and I mourn, I grieve, Garrett, that it will never be made. Unless we make it.
You got a relationship. You got a relationship at Netflix now.
I do, but they're gonna want... Here's the thing.
Penetrative sex is gonna be a hard sell.
I think they'll be okay with it. I think the problem is they're gonna want Seth Rogen to voice the goddamn showerhead, and that's a fucking hard no. Yeah.
Yeah, I don't need to hear that for 90 minutes.
Absolutely not. Garrett, do you hate this?
No. I'll listen to 2 songs as I have for the last 20 years and for the next 20 years.
Fair enough.
All right, Timmy, that does it for us. Folks, if you can, rate, review, subscribe, follow, tell your friends, tell your friends' friends, tell your grandma, put it on her phone. She doesn't have to listen, just download it. You can also, whatever you can do to let people know you enjoy it. We're on Instagram, that's HatePod. Twitter's album HatePod. Threads is HatePod. I'm G Harvey Tweets on Twitter. We got subreddits, Discord servers. We're on the internet. If you want to find us, we're on the platforms. We're on YouTube if you want to do it there. We are on the Spotify if you're doing it over there. That's good times. What else we got? That's about it, I think. For Why I Hate This Album, I've been one of your hosts, Garrett Harvey.
I have been the other, Timothy P. Richardson, and Garrett P. Harvey recently installed a Pizza Hut salad bar sneeze guard over his couch bed, presumably in an effort to get me to stop sneezing on him whilst he slumbers.
Anytime, really.
I mean, joke's on you, though. I get way closer than that when I sneeze on you. The reason you think I'm at that level is because I'm blown back from your face by the force of my sneeze, so by the time you get those peepers open, I am already back a bit.
You're just making a stronger and stronger case for night cuffs.
Don't do that.
There's cowboys running through my dreams. Nothing's quite the way it seems. I joined the Navy, got kicked out in a week. My facial features aren't distinct. Try to find some meaning in these songs. The genius is a genius, got it wrong. No, it's a lobster murder sex thing. It's the bleaching of the rear. A full assault on both your ears. The riffs are too repetitive. The lyrics make no sense. All the songs are B-sides. The cover art's a mess. Listen to it for a week. Now that week has passed. It's the Why I Hate This Album podcast with Tim and Garrett.